The assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC stands as one of history's most pivotal moments, casting long shadows over the Roman Empire and shaping the course of Western civilization. But what if Caesar lived? Exploring this tantalizing hypothetical unravels a rich tapestry of alternative scenarios, each infused with the potential to radically alter the succession of Roman rulers, the empire's territorial expansion, and the intricate web of political alliances. Imagine a Rome where civil war might have been averted, where the bounds of the empire stretched even further, and where Cleopatra's role alongside Caesar could have forged an entirely different path for the entire Mediterranean basin.
As we delve into an alternate Roman history, our journey takes us through the implications of Caesar dodging his would-be assassin's blades, offering a speculative look at his continued rule and the reforms he would have implemented. Through this exploration, we lay out a roadmap of what if, sketching the outlines of a Roman Empire driven by the ambitions and visions of Julius Caesar. Had the tides of fate flowed in his favor,
I want you to become the protector of Rome after I die.
In the days leading up to Caesar's assassination, several warnings and omens foreshadowed the impending tragedy. A seer named Spurina, renowned for his expertise in divination, cautioned Caesar after examining the entrails of a sacrificed animal during a ritual. Spurina discovered that the bull lacked a heart, a chilling omen that prompted him to advise Caesar to be cautious for the next 30 days. Calpurnia, Caesar's wife, was also plagued by a terrifying dream on the night before the assassination. In her vision, she saw Caesar's lifeless body in her arms, a haunting premonition that left her deeply shaken and convinced of an imminent threat to her husband's life. Despite the numerous warnings and omens, Caesar's fate seemed sealed as he made his way to the Senate on the Ides of March. However, some accounts suggest that he may have had a chance to escape or even survive the assassination attempt.
Caesar, a seasoned soldier, attempted to fight back against his assailants. He may have stabbed one of the attackers with a stylus and tried to escape, but the trained soldiers had formed a tight perimeter, making his escape nearly impossible. Had Caesar avoided assassination, the consequences would have been far-reaching, impacting the power dynamics in Rome, reactions from political rivals, and the sentiments of the Roman public.
The assassination of Caesar was a poorly planned and executed attempt to wrest control from a single ruler deemed a tyrant and restore power to Rome's traditional elites. With Caesar alive, the concentration of absolute power in his hands would have continued, threatening the Republic's democratic institutions. His rule, though popular among the masses, was begrudgingly accepted by the aristocracy.
He enters Rome like a conquering hero.
The conspirators had hoped their deed would inspire colleagues to join arms in restoring liberty, but they lacked concrete plans for restoring the Republic. Without Caesar's assassination, the liberators would have struggled to regain control, as Caesar had already defied the Senate and intended to hold on to absolute power.
the assassination plunged Rome into civil war as Caesar's supporters battled the assassins and then each other. Had Caesar lived, this conflict could have been averted, at least initially. However, political rivals like Mark Antony, who positioned himself as Caesar's rightful successor, and Octavian, Caesar's heir, would have likely vied for power and influence. Antony's powerful funeral oration incited public anger against the conspirators, forcing them to flee Rome. With Caesar alive, Antony and others may have continued maneuvering against potential threats, leading to further power struggles and instability.
The Roman public's reaction to Caesar's continued rule would have been complex. While the lower and middle classes benefited from his radical reforms, such as debt cancellation and tax code adjustments, some saw him as a threat to democratic institutions. Initially, the public was met with shock and confusion after the assassination, with some supporting the conspirators as defenders of the Republic and others mourning Caesar's death. Had he lived, public opinion may have remained divided, with potential for unrest and civil discord.
Had Caesar avoided assassination, Rome's political landscape would have been drastically altered, with the potential for prolonged autocratic rule, power struggles among rivals, and a divided public reaction. After securing his position as the sole ruler of Rome, Caesar set about implementing a series of reforms to address the pressing issues facing the Roman Republic. His strategic policies and governance were aimed at consolidating his power and ensuring the stability of the state.
One of Caesar's key military reforms was the reorganization of the Roman legions. He introduced new tactics and equipment and expanded the size of the army to better defend the growing Roman Empire. Under his leadership, the Roman military continued its expansion, conquering new territories and solidifying Rome's position as a dominant power in the Mediterranean region.
Caesar shall do all that Rome requires.
In addition to his military and political reforms, Caesar also implemented significant economic and social changes. He introduced new taxation policies, improved infrastructure, and promoted the integration of diverse populations within the Roman Empire. These reforms were aimed at improving the overall well-being of Roman citizens and strengthening the empire's economic foundations. Caesar's sweeping reforms, such as granting property to retiring soldiers, redistributing land to the poor, and canceling debts, proved popular with the military and Rome's lower and middle classes. However, his disregard for the Roman Senate and Republican tradition angered the elites, leading to the development of a cult of personality around Caesar as he minted coins with his image and celebrated his birthday as a public holiday.
Had Caesar lived, his continued rule and reforms would have reshaped Rome's political landscape, military might, and socioeconomic fabric, leaving an indelible mark on the Roman Empire's trajectory. While these reforms made him popular among the commoners, they brought panic to many of his enemies and even some of his friends. Caesar granted citizenship to physicians and teachers who settled in the city, encouraging a more diverse and educated populace. He also encouraged large farm owners to hire more free laborers, becoming less dependent on slave labor, a move that challenged the traditional power dynamics and societal structure.
He was a soldier of Rome.
Overall, Caesar's reforms and actions during a prolonged dictatorship would have had far-reaching implications for Rome's culture, society, administration, and leadership structure, reshaping the very foundations of the Roman world. Through the speculative exploration of Julius Caesar's potential survival and continued reign, we've journeyed through the myriad ways in which history's course might have diverged from the reality we know. From the bolstered expansion of the Roman Empire to the profound impacts on the political and social fabric of Rome, Caesar's hypothetical longevity opens up a fascinating panorama of what-ifs. We've delved into the possible shifts in power dynamics, the advancement of military conquests and reforms, and the significant socioeconomic transformations that could have further solidified Rome as an indomitable force in the ancient world. This exploration not only underlines the pivotal role of Caesar in Rome's history, but also underscores the fragility of historical trajectories, contingent on the lives of influential figures.